Hey, what's up? My name is Chuck Tuttle and this is my game, Reel Them In. This is a fishing themed game for 2 to 4 players that plays in about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Players assume the roles of a fishing village, competing against other villages on an island to get the best catch of fish. The objective of the game is to make and contain the most money by the end of 12 rounds or weeks called the fishing season. In order to do so, players must catch 3 different types of fish out at sea with boats and sell them to the market back on the island. The setup looks like this with the game board in the center, player boards placed around facing the game board, some random colored fish pieces out at the fishing locations, colored bait boats for each player, the 2 carrier boats on the player boards, 15 currency to start with, and the first player token to whoever rolls the highest in the first phase of the game. During the game, players will go through 4 phases for each round or week of the season. In the first phase, called the Mother Nature phase, each player rolls 3 dice to determine what comes out into play. The 2 dice 6 determine what numbered location on the game board is being used, and the colored fish dice determines what color and how many fish come into play. If a 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, or 11 is rolled, then the game generates whatever colored fish by the dice is rolled at that location. If a 7 is rolled, then no fish are generated, but one of the bait boats of the colored roll is generated on the island, and players immediately auction for the boat starting with whoever rolled the 7. However, if a 2 or 12 is rolled, then a storm is generated, and the rolled fish are taken off the game board out of play, ascending from location 2 and descending from location 12. The game board is also rotated 90 degrees in the direction of the location arrows. Once all players have rolled and resolved the dice, then the next phase called the bait phase begins. In this phase, players will place their colored bait boats in turn order to these fishing locations around the island. This represents leaving bait there for fish to be caught during the week. The objective is to control locations with the colored bait so that players can bring in other boats and catch the colored fish they desire. The colors of the bait boats correlates to the color of fish that can be caught. Once per turn, players may place any number and any combination of boats at a single location. However, there cannot be more than 5 bait boats at one location. The color of bait with the most amount at any location will be the controlling color. If there's a tie, however, the win goes by rock, paper, scissors rule, where the red beats green, green beats blue, and blue beats red. Once all players have used all their bait boats or everyone has passed in a row, then comes the next phase called the catch and deliver phase. In this phase, players will optionally move their carry boats on their player board grid in turn order to represent their movement to locations out on the game board. The center spot represents the island where all boats start, and the fishing spots around it can only be moved to orthogonally. The gray boat can only move 1 space per week, but can carry up to 10 fish. However, the yellow boat can move up to 2 spaces per week, but can only carry up to 5 fish. If moved to a spot representing a fish location, then the carry boat can pick up the fish of the controlling bait color. They will pick up 1 colored fish for each of their same colored bait boats at that location. Then they will be placed on their player boards accordingly. If moved back to the center spot, then the players can sell any number of fish from their player board to the market and make money depending on how much demand there is for each color of the fish being sold. The sold fish are then placed to the side of the game board to keep track for later calculations. Once all players have resolved their carry boats, then players collect all their bait boats at sea and move on to the last phase of the week called the market demand phase. In this last phase, the value for each color of fish is changed depending on how much demand there is for that color of fish. Each color starts out at the highest demand at 5 times the value per fish. Then after fish have begun to be sold, the most colored fish will be in the lowest demand at 3 times the value, while the least colored fish sold will be in the highest demand at 5 times the value, and the middle colored fish sold will be at 4 times the value. Any ties of colored fish sold will be demanded at the highest value possible. Once the market demand is adjusted, then the starter token is passed to the next player, and the week marker is moved to the next week, and a new round begins. Once all 12 weeks have been played, then whoever has the most money in hand will be the winner. This game is unique because it's a simple area control game combined with pickup and deliver mechanics that plays at a family level. The fishing theme fits perfectly to how the game works and plays out, with fish spawning more further out in the ocean, as well as a slight chance of storms happening during the fishing season. Also, the bait rules make a lot of sense in that while the fish are attracted to their color of bait, they can also be repelled by the scent of another colored bait. The strategy all comes into the timing of everything. How many bait boats do you move in a turn? What combination of colors do you move? Do you save your boats to block players at other fishing locations? Where do you position your carrier boats to catch the most fish? When and how many fish do you sell to control the market demand? How much do you spend on auctioning for new bait boats? All set up for some high potential tactics. As the game progresses, there are less fish to catch, creating more player interaction and requiring more planning. The game is overall very balanced and has a lot of room for growth and ideas to come. And that's my game, Reel 'Em In.